Your usual playstyles were overthrown and useless. He began to put you on your toes, and you could feel your hands begin to sweat a little. He was believing in the heart of the cards. It is getting intense! Draw your last pathetic card, Koshiro. My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Linnaeus. This is crazy. Alrighty. Welcome back, Andy and everybody. This is Learnin Otter, here to do another episode of Kingsguard. Apologies really quickly, this is a partial re-recording. I'm just filling in some audio bits that were really botched in the previous recording. So if the audio sounds a bit different in some places, I apologize. So here we go. Now, you were brought to the waiting room and laid down on a couch. Questions swarmed your mind, despite your fatigue. A servant approached, carrying with her a few cups, a teapot, a bowl for sugar, and a jar of honey. She set it down on a nearby table and left the room along with the apostles. The only other person in the room was the high priest, who was about to leave as well. Wait. Before you go. Your voice was still hoarse, and the words that came out of your mouth were quiet, like a whisper. The high priest didn't seem to hear you. Don't go! Please! You felt daggers scratching against the inside of your neck. You coughed hard and loudly, and the priest turned to look. Your hand went out. Speaking was difficult, but you could at least interact with him using body language. But you could at least interact with him using my body language. You wish to speak? You nodded. You owe me some answers. You have quite the tenacity, even after going through such an ordeal. The high priest backed away from the door and sat in a nearby chair. I suppose I have some time. What was that? What did you do to me? What did you do to the water? We did nothing to the water. You've got to be joking me. That was not a normal bath. The priest reached out for a teapot and a cup and poured some tea. He added in 2 cubes of sugar and a bit of honey as well before handing the cup to you. Drink. It will help ease your pain. I don't want any tea. I want answers. Drink. He handed the cup out closer to you, and you peered inside. It's not poison. Drink. You carefully took a sip so as to not scald yourself, and the warm liquid helped relieve you of your pain. You took more sips, and the soreness of your throat diminished significantly. No more did you feel the need to cough every time you breathed. Better? You nodded in between another drink of the tea. What you witnessed was nothing short of a miracle. It is something for you to treasure, as it will guide you. A miracle? We do not know the reason as to why it happens, but each person who has entered the pool has had a different experience. Something we can't explain. Something like that was nothing more than a hallucination. The pool has many secrets, as such for a sacred location where miracles occur. If calling what you experienced a hallucination gives you a bit of solace, so be it. But you can't deny what happened. After all, you were submerged for at least 2 hours. That should speak for itself. 2 2 hours! A large grandfather clock was situated in the waiting room. He squinted, and sure enough, 2 hours really had passed. That should be impossible! No one can survive underwater for that long, except for maybe some of the beastmen down at the docks, though I'm not really that sure about that. Our world is filled with plenty of mysteries. Are you going to say that that was an act of the gods or something? You sound like you don't believe me, when this in fact happened to you, not me. Because I wouldn't be alive if that was the case. People can't survive without air for longer than several minutes. I would like to see you try to hold your breath for that long. Tell me, while you sit here in this grand castle, how much of the world do you know? Can books tell us everything, and do any of us truly know anything with utmost certainty? It's like, alright, okay, Socrates. You're just rambling philosophical nonsense. Perhaps. It would seem a bit difficult to believe all of this. I've known about you for quite a long time, young prince. Really now? I am the high priest, and the church and the royal family are tied in many ways, as you should know. I was there when you were born, and have watched you grow up since you were young. Your father and Koshiro tell me that you are a seeker of truth, always one who loved the unknown. You were underwater for 2 hours. You saw something, a vision or hallucination, only given to you. I am telling you nothing but the truth. I gain nothing from trying to deceive you. You are free to ask me any questions, and I will try to clarify as best to my knowledge. You're sounding less and less like a priest. Alright, so let's say that I believe this whole thing. Me being alive after not breathing for 2 hours. I recall waking up in the water and nearly choking to death. So what was happening to me then? Are you sure you didn't just pull me out of the water, then toss me back in after I fell asleep? As I said before, we did nothing to you. You were alone in the sanctum until you woke up. We do not know how this phenomenon happens. It simply does. For the most part, someone enters the pool, stays there for a while, and leaves with a vision. The time varies by person to person. Some are in there for less than a few minutes, others upward to an hour. Your case is quite peculiar. No one has ever been in there for that long. But I can tell that you will be someone truly special. Those that have spent the most time in the water have grown up to become great achievers. I'm not really getting this. Perhaps you should ask me something more direct then. Discreet? What does he mean by that? Where are these questions gonna lead if I ask them in a certain order? I am leaning towards the dream. Tell me more about the dream that I was having. It was pretty crazy, pretty trippy. So, others have had some weird sort of dream as well. Everyone who has entered the pool has had a different experience. It is a tradition for all those hoping to follow the gods' teachings, but whether or not they tell us what they saw is up to their own discretion. But some have told us of things we would have never believed had they not come to pass. So if they had a similar experience like me, what did they dream of? It is not a dream, young prince. It is a vision of something come to pass, or even something already known but not revealed. There's a difference? It would be difficult to explain, but I suppose I could try. There was one particular individual who had a vision of a drought that would blight the land. We were skeptical at first, yet he alone did something about it. I was quite young at the time, only an apostle with a few years under his belt. I was surprised to find that he was telling the truth, or rather, the pool gave him the knowledge to avoid such a disaster. Were that simply a dream, it likely would have ended in some fantastical way. But a vision is direct and seems to hold a single purpose. That purpose was warning us of a danger to come. I don't think I could make sense of what I saw. It was just complete insanity. It felt more like a lucid dream than anything. Thinking back on it, that vision you had made it difficult to distinguish whether you were having a dream or not. The memories of those lives you lived were now gone, but they still deeply disturbed you and made you forget yourself. Then there was the thing that talked to you, almost as though he was interrupting you or something. He said he was going to get there. Was that here? You couldn't explain it, but you had some creeping suspicion that whatever happened there wasn't just some trick of the mind, no matter how you tried to piece it together. So, you and my father have both also bathed in there before? Yes, though for me it was quite some time ago. I can still recall it as though I were looking in a picture book. So, what was it about? That, unfortunately, is not meant for your ears. What? Tell me about this pool of light. I want to know more about why that pond is so special. Do you recall the tale of how it came to be revered as it is today? The god and goddess of the past traveled here during their pilgrimage to put a stop to the war. They had hoped to prevent a great battle from beginning here, but they were too late. The city was already destroyed by the time they arrived. Yes, thousands were killed, but they did manage to stop the battle from claiming any more lives. But they gathered the people that remained from all sides of the conflict and began a rebirth of the city. This land should have been impossible to revive, but they were gods, not humans, and people began to slowly gather back into the city until it expanded into what it is today. But the only reason this place became so famous was because the gods bathed in the waters below. I don't see how people would have decided to revere it as they do now. If all it's used for is baptism, what makes it so special? And it's also shut out to most of the populace anyway. Why? You witnessed firsthand what happened when you entered the waters. Do you not think that alone makes it a place of worship? As for the common public, what do you think would happen if more people learned of what these waters could do? If several thousand people all entered the pool and were granted a vision similar to your own, would they not want to return and learn more? Knowledge is a dangerous thing. If in excess, it will poison one's mind. The founding rulers from long ago realized the dangers that this pool could bring to the land that had finally learned what peace was. People would fight and kill over this, so they forbade all from entering. But only those of royalty or with the church can enter. It seems like they only wanted to keep the knowledge of what the pool could bring to themselves. I can't say that all of their actions were just and impure, but given what power the water can give, it was right of them to do so. For the past several centuries, the pool has only been used sparingly. For even an apostle to enter the waters, they must be with the church for at least 10 years. For royalty, it is limited to when one raises to become king or queen. It still seems suspicious, even now. If word got out what these waters could give, then trying to calm the populace would seem nearly impossible. It is good that many have a lot of faith in the royal line. Your father has been a fair and just ruler, and the people love him for it. Still feels like I'm lying to the whole country if I remain silent after learning about something like this. Even I wouldn't be able to stop you if you choose to reveal the truth. All I can do is warn you of the consequences that could ensue. I guess you're right. It'd be a miracle if I kept my mouth shut though, so tell me about those. You said that the pool of light is a place where miracles occur. What do you mean by that? Before I answer that, tell me, what is a miracle to you? Well, if I recall, a miracle is just some extraordinary event, typically derived from divine intervention. In all honesty, I don't really believe in miracles. They just seem like a weak cop-out to natural phenomenons. Cop-out? I feel like that phrase is a bit, seems strange in conjunction with all this old-timey atmosphere. But I don't know, I'm not an English major. In all honesty, I don't really believe in miracles. They just seem like a weak cop-out to natural phenomenons that could be explained with time and research. So, you don't think that what happened to you was a miracle? I don't have the knowledge to explain what happened to me. In that case, you will probably take this with a grain of salt. What happened to you, a miracle wouldn't be the right word to describe it. Hallucination was my first guess. If it truly were that, we might have to get you to a doctor. It would be a disaster to have a raving man ruling the kingdom. Alright, so then what would you actually call it? Not many know this, but miracles is just a word that we have adopted to call such events. But that is not the entire truth. The last gift the god and goddess bestowed upon us before they left was a special power, though they neglected to give us the tools and knowledge to properly utilize it. They had another name for this mysterious power when we went to call them miracles. Magic. A miracle is something none have control of. It can happen wherever and whenever. It is fickle and masterless. But magic. The god and goddess only taught a few they believed could use this properly, and without evil intent. Magic? Really? Next you're going to tell me that these magic users are witches and wizards. Do you take me for a kid to be gullible enough to believe that magic actually exists? To put it frankly, yes. And these individuals could be considered witches and wizards. Wielding such a power opens up infinite possibilities that have the capability to alter our own world. But that was centuries ago, and that knowledge might as well be considered lost. All that we have with us now is the pool and other sacred locations of the world as relics of the past. And even then, we still do not properly know how to use them. Though, I only fear what would happen if we did. This doesn't sound like anything spoken of in the scriptures. That is because this knowledge is not needed to be known to the common man. But you're willing to tell me this? There are many out there who will deny this claim. I only told you of this because you asked, and it is connected to the pool in some way. Of course, regardless if you believe me or not, knowing about magic and being able to use it are two separate things. I would imagine one would have to spend longer than a human lifetime to study and learn it, but there is always the possibility that a record exists. At that point, it would be up to those that read about it to believe in it themselves. So why tell me then if it's pretty useless? Perhaps it's because I feel as though it's something you should know. Whatever you saw wasn't mere coincidence. You might have been shown something because it was planned all along. So what you're saying is that I'm either being guided by destiny or someone is making my life choices for me. What a way to live. Ooh, I guess nothing more. Wait, can I hear about more? Oh. Alright, never mind. Alrighty then. Alright, nothing more. One more question before you go. How is it you learned all of this? Some knowledge is best left out of the hands of the many. I can't tell you where I learned what I know, unfortunately. But you were willing to share it with me. It seems contradictory, doesn't it? Know that it is because I can trust you with this knowledge. Of course, it would be foolish to explain all that I know. Not that we would have the time. Not even the apostles know of this yet, and I doubt any of them may ever. No faith in them? Simply know what I have told you of this, because you are one who must know. I had to know about all of this? Sooner or later, you would have asked about all of this. Is that what you saw then? Me asking these questions and you telling me the answers? Just make sure that if you do share all that you know, that it will only be with someone you would trust your life with. I fear that I have used up too much time here. I have a lot of preparations I must make for tomorrow, as do you. Linnaeus, you have a great ordeal ahead of you. It will be painful, and there will be times when you will have to make choices and decide for yourself what is the lesser of two evils. Stay strong, not just for the nation or your ideals, but for yourself. It truly was an honor to meet with you. I do hope your future stays bright during these troubling times. The high priest got up, and after a quick bow, he was off. You could tell that he wanted to say more, but it didn't seem as though he didn't want to, but that he couldn't. I guess I can't blame him for wanting to keep some things to himself. If I told anyone what I just saw, they would think I was some delusional madman who needs to be sent to the hospice. But maybe I should have. It certainly would have helped me figure this mess out. I knew I should have pressed for more answers. Was I supposed to? Suppose there is always tomorrow. I'll get the full truth out of him. For now, I'll just take a little rest. You felt your weariness return as you once again went back to lay down on the couch. Linnaeus, time to get up. Koshiro was leaning especially close as you opened your eyes. You took a look around and found that you were still in the waiting room. Despite how you were feeling before, you felt fully refreshed as you leaned up to properly sit on the couch. Where did you go? I wasn't allowed to stay in the sanctum during the rite. You couldn't have just snuck back in? Not with that many people, no. But did you really want me to watch you get undressed? What? No! It just would have been nice to have someone that I knew around, in case I was attacked. I mean, my father has a target on his head. You don't think that I wouldn't have one too? You are in no danger. I felt that you were in capable hands. That was the high priest after all. And his weird cloaked and oddly mysterious apostles. I thought for sure one of them was going to grab out a knife and stab me. They were all inspected for weapons before entering the castle, the high priest included, though it took him a bit of convincing. And I hid nearby the stairs as a precaution, regardless of what they said. So then you did see me! I turned away if that is what concerns you. Anyway, how are you feeling now? I wanted to assist you once I saw you beyond the door, but they were quite adamant about helping you themselves. I'm feeling better now. How long have I been out for? Just a little over an hour. I've done nothing today but sleep. I apologize. I should have awoken you, but you looked weary. So then you've been watching me sleep the entire time as well. Is that a problem? Should I have waited outside the room for you? Well, I mean, it's kind of weird that you were watching me from the shadows, so to speak. You've always done that though, so I guess it's a bit late to complain about it now. Oh, jeez! That's just the sound of it. I have the sound set so loud. You stood and stretched. Is there anything else planned for today? There is the rehearsal coronation, which will begin in a few hours, but other than that, no. So, I have quite some free time then. The king did tell me that you are not allowed to leave the castle. What? You know how dangerous it is right now. What does he expect me to do then? Anything you want, as long as you don't leave the castle. Is that why you're here then? I won't let you leave either. You really like to be my father's watchdog, don't you? I'm sorry. Forget it. So, I take it Marilyn and Esther aren't back yet? Not since you left them at breakfast. Well, I got nothing to do then. Want to go play some Nintendo Switch? Do you have any suggestions? You're asking me? Yeah, despite how long I've known you, I can't say that I really know you. What do you like to do in your free time? Free time? I don't suppose I ever really had much time for myself. I don't think I will be much help for you there. There's got to be something that you did for fun when Father has stopped asking you to do 20 tasks at once. I suppose I train. Do you find that fun? It's necessary so that I can keep the two of you safe. That doesn't sound like something you do when you want to unwind or let loose. Like for me, I'd love to head out into the city. Oh, there's just so much to do and see out there. All sorts of people to meet. And maybe along the way I might turn the corner and stop at Rose's Cathedral. I've never done anything like that. Oh, come on. Like gambling, horseback riding, getting into bar fights? I suppose I meditate. Meditate? Taking some time to think, or rather letting my mind wander. Now I feel really bad for you. Why? All you do is work. Even as a kid, that is all I've seen you do. Did you ever once play with that ball I lent you? I did for a time. I suppose I never truly cared for such things. I still have it though, if you would like to have it back. I think I've outgrown that. It's got to be years old though. You can just toss it at this point. Oh, I don't think he wants to. What? If it's alright with you, I would like to keep it. Do whatever you want. If it's a ball you want though, we can always get a new one. This one will do. But thank you. You're welcome? I think I got something we can do then. I'll go and see if any of the servants in their quarters have a deck of cards. Ooh, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering? You don't have any yourself. Leandros is the one who holds them, since he was the only person I played with. He was the only person who actually wanted to play with me, really. Chances are that he is also just as busy. And I know one of the servants always has a deck on hand. It's bad enough that they slack off on the job. Worse when they try to cover it up as the cards fall from their sleeves. You asked Koshiro to meet you in the library. You asked Koshiro to meet you
at the library!
While he went out and searched for the cards necessary to play. Looking for some rares and ultra rares? The library always had a distinct scent. For you, it was musty parchment and green tea. If there was one room in the castle that you felt safe and welcome to, it was here. You spent countless days sitting here reading, sometimes without bothering to leave until your bladder felt like it was about to burst. Master Koshiro was the one who taught you the joys of books, but he also taught you how torturous it could be as well. He introduced you to a great many stories of the world, which allowed you to feel free for just one afternoon. Then there were times you had to trudge through the most dreary and thick of novels, such as The Role of Accounting and the Control of Public Expenditure in the Yasanese Empire of the Third Era. It was a book that could have been 3,532 pages shorter, epilogue included, of course. Still, you couldn't deny that this place shaped you into who you were today. It was a home away from home. Alright then, shall we begin?
Oh, I kind of want to keep going until we play cards with Koshiro, but... I guess the episode's a little long, but maybe I can keep going. Just a little bit more. Shall we begin? You and Koshiro occupied one of the many tables and began to shuffle the cards. Oh, sweet, so we already skipped to the playing. Perfect. Yeah, we'll keep going. So, do you have any questions before we start, or any rules you need me to go over again?
I think I understand the purpose of the game. We simply exchange cards back and forth until only a single card remains. Correct? Yes, if you are the one with that card, you lose. If there were more players, typically it just means the first one with no cards in hand wins. Several minutes passed as you ran through a few games. At first, you won every game, which was strange for even a beginner to lose so often. You decided to throw one game, and as soon as you won, things turned around quickly. Your usual playstyles were overthrown and useless. He began to put you on your toes, and you could feel your hands begin to sweat a little.
He's believing in the heart of the cards.
You questioned if even Leandros pushed you to try so hard, and he was the one who taught you it.
It is getting intense. If I take this card at this exact moment, his defenses will be completely squandered. At the same time, that will leave me completely vulnerable by the third card of the fourth from my hand to the right. At the same time, I've seen the way he smelled his cologne this morning before he got dressed. That means that he's completely useless with his left hand, as he's already expended 38 calories with it today. Draw your last pathetic card, Koshiro.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Linnaeus.
This is crazy.
You stared at your hand, and a bead of sweat ran down your face. Your breathing was heavy and laborious as you inhaled and exhaled through your mouth. Koshiro reached forward, his claw moving between the two cards in your hand. You did your best to remain calm, but every time his finger passed over the right card, the one that would win him the game, your heart stopped. I believe I will choose this one. No! No. Now why would you say that? Well, you should think carefully about your options here. There's really only two. Of course, but it would be a shame for you to make a careless decision and lose the game. Are you sure that is the card you want? Oh, I most certainly am sure.
Oh no, this isn't good. He knows everything about this game. If I'm not careful, I could lose, and my grandfather's soul will never be returned.
You sound quite confident. Because I know that this is the right choice. And how would you know that? Koshiro stared deeply into your eyes
and cracked a smile out of the corner of his lips. This is getting anime.
It's your eyes.
Nanio! He needs glasses that he can, turn up with the reflection blocking out his eyes.
I can see your desperation. You know that defeat is coming, and I have you backed into a corner.
You knew that look all too well. Leandros would stare at you the same way when you knew that there was no way out of your predicament. It was just as terrifying and made you feel as though you were a deer standing right out in an open prairie. You unleashed a monster, but you could put a stop to this. You just had to make sure you didn't give up. Last chance to change your mind. Why don't we see where this road takes us then? Koshiro reached forward and placed his hands on the card.
Let go of it, Linnaeus. The intense glare in his eyes were daggers poised at your heart. You loosened your grip, and he plucked the card out of your hand. Slowly, he placed the final pair he needed onto the table.
Well, would you look at that? Oh, no! I almost had you there. I knew I should have gone with my original choice.
You played quite gracefully. It wasn't easy for me. You should be proud.
I should be saying that to you. You really had me sweating.
I have to say, this game is quite intriguing. I know of a similar game back where I come from.
Really? What was it called?
Rivers.
I got plenty of song references for that. That's a pretty simple yet interesting name to call it.
It was derived from an old poem of a koi that found its mate through the intertwining rivers.
Definitely sounds a lot more romantic than here. We just call it Kingdom. Don't know the origins exactly, but it's typically a gambling game. Since I was teaching you, I thought it would be better to do without the stakes.
You told me that you and Leandros used to play this as well, correct? Did the two of you also place bets?
In the beginning, yes. We decided to stop though, since he's just way too good at it, so I ended up losing every single bet. I nearly lost my freedom because of that. One of these days I will get him back. Believe it! Sorry.
Well, what do you say we play for bets then?
What?
The corner of the fox's lips turned into a sly smile, and his eyes once again had that sly and devious look to them.
You couldn't even tell that this was the same Koshiro anymore.
Even if you were confident in your skills, it didn't seem like a good idea.
It's best that we avoid that. You did just learn the rules.
Are you saying that for your own protection?
I wouldn't get so cocky if I were you. There are some games where it matters not how well you played, if you're going against a terrible hand.
Chalking it up to bad luck, then. Shame you had to use that as your alibi.
Fine. So you want to play in the big league, eh? Then we'll play with stakes. We'll cook those steaks next time! Thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna call it here. This episode's getting a bit long, especially with how much editing I'm gonna have to do. But that was really fun! And this is probably gonna get very interesting come the next time. So I hope you guys will stick around for it. If you liked the video, comment down below maybe some suggestions or even just something silly, as well as subscribe. You'll probably be notified when that video comes out. I promise it'll be pretty soon. But in the meantime, you can check out some other things on my other channels. Well, not my other channels, but my other social medias, as well as Twitch. I'll do streaming there a lot more too. So while you're waiting for that next episode to come out, you can entertain yourself with some other things. But regardless, I hope you did enjoy this episode, and I do appreciate you sticking around to watch. It means a lot, especially as I get closer to 1,000 subscribers. But with all that said, I'll leave you guys for now, and just say that I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good evening, whatever it is for you, and we'll just see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.